All right, everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to another episode of the Chattanooga Mountaineers here on Localized Content on YouTube, Localized_content on Twitch. Last time out, we finished the regular season with Rip Rocket on the mound. Won our last game, 15-5 against Jacksonville. So we ended the year 118-44. So we did win our division, of course. And so in this episode, we're going to take a look around the league, some stats, some records, and just see what we did as a team. But we're going to first start with us. Take a look at some player stats for the season, our position players. Let's start with hits. So we'll sort by hits. Of course, Dip Jumbo led us in hits with 219. Miguel 191, Boomer Bell 175, and then a big dip to James Crawford, Trent Clarkson. Surprisingly, Jeffrey Kessler had 111 in 85 games. That surprises me, but okay. Houston Payne had 111 in 80 games. He got hot at the end of the year. We knew that. Kershaw 108, Humphreys 108 in 79 games, so pretty solid there. Cal Hammer, he only played 65 games, but he had 105 hits in those 65 games. Wow. Scooter Shields played 76 games with us, had 97 hits. Bautista 75 hits, or 97 hits, for Scooter Shields. 75 hits for Brent Bautista. In 69 games, J.D. Poole had 56 hits. He only played 38 games with us. McClendon, 47 games, but of course a lot of those are ones that he started in. He had 37 hits, though. Reggie Solis had 32 hits. Augustine had 18 hits in the 11 games he played with us. Earnhardt, 14 hits. And Sasaki, 10 hits in his 8 games. By home runs now, of course, Dip led that with 61. Miguel Vaughn, 42. Boomer Bell, 32. Crawford, 30. Clarkson hit his 29th and 30th in the last game of the season. And then we got Stephen Kershaw with 21. Payne had 17. Shields had 15. Humphreys 14. 13 for Kessler. 12 for Poole in his 38 games. It's pretty wild. Cal had 10. Bautista 9. 6 for Solis. 5 for McClendon. 3 for Woody and Earnhardt. And then Sasaki hit 1. RBIs. 2 players with 100 plus. Dip with 168, which is pretty absurd. Anything notable there? Not particularly. Stolen bases, barely had any. We had a total of 11, 12, 13, 14 stolen bases. Bautista had 7, McClendon had 4, Cal, Dip, and Boomer all had 1. Average, who did not hit over 300? Only Trent and Earnhardt didn't hit over 300. Everybody else above 300, with the highest being Solis and Augustine in their short or small sample size. Cal nearly hit 400. But anyway, OBP. I just want to look at like the relevant ones. These two are pretty relevant. Boomer Bell 413 still is pretty good. Miguel Vaughn 391. Slugging percentage, whatever. Who really cares? What do they say? League average is 400, 500, maybe 600. I don't know. But yeah, some really high ones there. OPS. How many over 1,000? A lot of people over or at 1,000, all of which above 900. Walks, Dip Jumbo led us in walks. Of course, there's some people with very minimal amounts of walks, but Dip Jumbo led the way in walks. Strikeouts, least. Holy crap, that was like right next to me that car just started. Yeah, that's lots of strikeouts by some people. Well, lots, not really lots, but 100 strikeouts was the most. We 105 by Miguel Vaughn. Doubles now. So nobody broke the single season doubles record, unfortunately, but Dip and Miguel both came close, 63 and 62. Boomer Bell had 55. Payne and Crawford, 44, 42. Clarkson, Humphreys, and Hammer all had 40, 41, 40, 40 or 41, and then it drops down from there. Triples, though. I wanted triples. Batista had 19 triples this year. 19 of his, how many hits? 75 hits were triples. Boomer Bell had 12, Miguel Vaughn 11, McClendon 10. 10 of his 37 hits were triples, which is pretty insane rate. Yeah, lots of triples from a lot of guys. Sasaki and Earnhardt, the only ones on our current roster that didn't get any. Total bases, don't really care. Plate appearances, don't really care. Sack flies, don't really care. Double plays. Lots of people grounded into 12 double plays. Hit by pitches. Oh, I'm surprised 3 is only the highest there. Caught stealing. Crawford 3 times. Dip. Humphreys and Batista twice. Scoot and Kessler both once. WAR. We'll take a look at WAR. From our position players, where can we sort? I don't know. Our sort's all broken. Dip is far and away the most, 11.5 WAR. But wow. Some not accruing too much. Walk percentage, strikeout percentage, and all this crap. Who really cares about that? Let's take a look at our starting pitchers, which is a lot of people that didn't actually start a whole bunch. But Gabriel Foster, 21 and 4. Bull Garland, 19 and 4. 18 and 4 from Padilla. Clendon, 15 and 3. Dip, 13 and 7. And then everybody else was in the bullpen. So, going by innings, Bull pitched the most innings, 187.1. Dip, 179, 178 from Padilla, 171 from Foster, and 131 in 23 starts for McClendon. Everybody else started 32 games. Dip started 33. Walks. Bull only walked 35 people in 187 innings. With Dip walking 60. I'm surprised it's only 62. It felt like 162. Strikeouts, Dip led the way, 246. And all 4 of our starters that started 30-plus games, 200 strikeouts on the year. ERA. I just want to look at our starters. Padilla, 3.13. Garland, 3.46. McClendon, 3.7. Foster, 4.47. And Dip, 5.48. Whatever, dude. And complete games, Dip, 2. Padilla, 1. Pitching WAR, Padilla led the way there. Dip only 3.5, but look at his strikeouts per 9. 12.37 is absolutely insane, but his walks per 9 is pretty bad too. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, our relief pitchers. I guess we could look at them here as well. Dusty, 5 ERA. Rip, it's terrible, but he did start that last game, and that was pretty cool. Reggie, 0.89, was solid in the 20 innings he pitched. Carlson, 3.86. Actually didn't end up being too bad at the end of the year. He had a very high ERA early on. Now our relief pitchers, Money Montero, 73 innings in 49 appearances. Of course, he only came to us later in the year, but still pitched 73 innings at a 2.57 clip. Pretty solid there. Nearly had 100 strikeouts. Lefty Bronco, 51 innings in 43 appearances, 3.14 ERA. Rip Rocket came on later. So did the other two, Bob Hutchinson and Caleb Crosby. They Bob Hutchinson was probably the best of those three, but Rip Rocket wasn't too bad either. Neither was Caleb Crosby, I suppose, just in a smaller sample size. And then our closer, of course, King Bowser, blew 2 saves, 38 good ones, 2 bad ones, 2.16 ERA there. I wanted to look at other people's stats because, of course, we had so many other people play for us this year. Like Miles Bledsoe in 11 games had 11 hits, 5 doubles. Who else played for us this year? Frank Sullivan played 13 games, 17 hits, 2 homers, and a triple. Anybody else here? Simon Beckham, of course, played 73 games with us, and then was sent down because he couldn't hit the ball past the infield. 3 homers, 30 RBIs, and 91 hits in those 73 games. Jalen Brooks was terrible. He had 2 hits in 14 at-bats in those 4 games he played. That's it there. Sparky Beltre played 10 games, 31 at-bats, had 8 hits, one of which was a homer. Carter Burnett wasn't really solid either. He had 2 hits, a double, and a home run in 19 at-bats. That's all at third base. Nate Sargent played 7 games, 24 at-bats, had 5 hits, 2 of which were homers. And then left fielders, nope, that's all there. Matthew Pierce played 7 games, 22 at-bats, had 6 hits, 2 doubles, and 3 homers. So only one of his hits was a single. Darius Summers played 34 games, had 34 hits, 13 doubles, 5 homers. Dante Rasmussen played 4 games, had 2 hits, a double, and a home run. That's all there. Let's see. We got pitchers, though, that probably are sent down. Nope, not really. I traded most of them away. Will Evans played 45 games, 4.58 ERA. All right, while we're at it, let's take a look at some of the trades we made through the season, because why the heck not? A lot of the players that we have on our roster now didn't start the year with us. So, on the 6th of... No. The other ones were on the 15th of April. That's when the 3 trades were. Down at the very bottom, we acquired Cal Hammer and Stephen Kershaw from the Humpback Whales for Jamar Fields and Jake Doyle and Murray Herring. That was one trade we did with the Humpback Whales. Next one was Jose Humphreys from the Red Strikers for Mario Haywood. Remember him, scrub. Next one, Houston Payne from the Sky Sox for Jonas Weaver, who wasn't good for us either. And then Miles Bledsoe from the Admirals for Arthur Bishop. Those were in April. And then we moved to June. Early June, we acquired Sparky Beltre from the Werewolves for Miles Roy. Also, Dusty Earnhardt and Jalen Brooks from the Smugglers for Julius Weber and Troy Blevins, who didn't play with us. Then the last one we did there was Scooter Shields and Money Montero from the Humpback Whales for Buzz Snyder and Logan Tomlinson, who was our starting catcher at the beginning of the year. Now we moved to the 15th of June. We acquired Felix Harper and Jacob Wilcox from the Sky Sox for Babe Betts, who none of those guys really made an impact on the series. And then second one we did there was Josh Carlson and Frederick Haas from the Flying Tigers for Fabio Falk and Kip Wiseman. I remember those. Kip Wiseman pitched quite a bit, but Fabio we didn't use too much. And then July 16th, Anthony Rock from the Green Flash for Shane Gomez, Chief Monroe, and Pete Peters. Chief Monroe and Shane Gomez, of course, pitched quite a bit for us earlier in the year, but we traded both of them for Anthony Rock on the 16th. And then on the 31st, we traded for Caleb Crosby from the Flying Tigers for Bones Juarez and Tiny Guzman. So that's why they have so many of our relievers. That's all the trades we did during the year. Can we see free agency? We signed Greg Duke, Kevin Beverly, who never really Neither of them really did anything for us. McClendon, we signed Bob Hutchinson, Sasaki, and Woody Augustine. So yeah, that's who we signed during the year. McClendon was in May. July 31st, we signed Bob. The 2nd of September, right? Yeah, 2nd of September, we signed Sasaki. And then September 11th, we signed Woody Augustine. Rest in peace. You feel. So yeah, that's pretty much what we did through the year. I don't really care about the stats that other people had because they had it with other teams. I would have loved to take a look at the stats that they had with us, but apparently you can't do that in this game. Let's take a look at some team stats just to see where we ranked. We, of course, ranked first in batting average, 327 with Jacksonville, second behind us, surprisingly, with 270. At bats, we had the most, of course, because we just scored so many runs and we had a whole bunch of people come up to the plate and walked very minimal. We hit 1,200 runs this year. Second closest was 741. That is absurd. Hits, 1,900. Second closest, 1,500. Doubles, 610. 100 triples, 352 home runs. And 1,200 runs batted in. That is absurd. Stolen bases, of course, were at the very bottom there with 15. Wow. 15 stolen bases, and they had, or the 29th had 96. Caught stealing. Hey, we're first there because we barely tried it all with 13 caught stealing. Let's see here. Stolen base percentage, of course, we're last because just terrible. Base on balls, we'd be last there as well. I'm surprised we're not far off, though. 477 is the lowest. Or in 29th, and we're only 464. I'm surprised we're not further away. Strikeouts, we had the least amount of strikeouts from our hitters this year, 976. And then slugging percentage, of course, we're first there, 640, league average, right around that 400 mark, like they said. On base percentage led the way there, 375. Total bases, 3,800 versus 2,300 in second place. That is absurd. Plate appearances, 200 more. Ground into double plays. Let's see, our logos aren't going to show up, but yeah, we're last because we grounded into so many. We grounded into the most double plays this year. Assists, don't really care. Putouts, don't really care, but we're fifth. Errors, somehow we have the worst fielding, but we only made 55 errors. And had the best fielding percentage, even though, like I said, we had the worst defense on statistically according to the attributes. ERA, let's see where we fall. Probably pretty close to the bottom, but not at the bottom. We fall 27th with a 401 ERA. Complete games, we aren't at the bottom, but we're tied for 18th with 2. No, we had 3. We had 3 complete games. Where's 3 at? Yep, tied 12th. Shutouts. How many shutouts do we have? Not too many. Looking for our names. Tied 15th with 12 shutouts on the year. Saves, towards the bottom, 46 saves on the year. Blown saves, though, we should be like pretty close to the top. Somehow I can't find us. 18 blown saves. What? That's just wrong. Hits allowed. Come on, logos, load for me. 28th, so we let up a lot of hits this year. Wow. Runs allowed, definitely towards the bottom again. Yeah, 25th. Earned runs, once again, 27th. Home runs allowed, though, we're 4th, 115, only 115 home runs. Gave up a lot of runs, but 115 homers, pretty solid. Base on balls, Far and away the leader there. Strikeouts far and away the leader. Win percentage far away the leader. Batting average, we're back to the beginning. All right, so that's it for the team awards. Let's take a look at league leaders. I'm just going to, no, we'll look at American and National League. Dip Jumbo, Boomer Bell, and Miguel Vaughn, top 3 in batting average. And then hits, we got Miguel Vaughn and Dip Jumbo leading the way with Boomer Bell in 5th. At bats, Dip Jumbo's tied for 7th. Doubles, holy crap, we have the top 7 in doubles. Dip Jumbo led the way with 63, Miguel 62, and then it went down. Of course, I looked at the doubles already, but top 7 in doubles. Triples, we had the top 4, and Cowhammer is right around it as well. Home runs, 5 people leading the way there. RBIs, Dip and Miguel at the top. James Crawford is actually 5th, Boomer Bell and Clarkson 7th and 8th. Runs, Miguel Vaughn led there. Dip Jumbo tied with him, actually. Both tied with 137. Imagine that. 106 for Boomer Bell. He's in 3rd. Stolen bases, nowhere near. Base on balls, nowhere near. But actually, Dip should be... How many walks did Dip have? 56, so he's 32nd. On base percentage, Dip, Boomer, and Miguel all up there, 1, 2, and 4. Slugging percentage, top 3, of course, Boomer Bell edged out Miguel. This time, OPS. Of course, if we had people qualifying, we would be like the top everyone. But just the 3 there. Wins, Gabriel Foster, Bull Garland led the way there. Jock Padilla right behind. And then there's McClendon down there. Didn't miss him. Losses, Garland, Padilla, Foster, and Dip all in the mix. Of course, Sanchez coming out of the bullpen only had 2 losses. Saves. Where's our boy? King Bowser, 11th in saves, ERA. Only person really notable here is going to be Padilla in 10th. Home runs allowed. Padilla led the way. Only gave up 3 home runs this year. There's Foster in 5th with 12 shutouts. We didn't really have anybody shut out alone. Strikeouts, though, we got the top 4, our 4 big starters that started the most games this year. Complete games, Dip Jumbo was 4th there. And let's see here. I traded for Jock Padilla. Why didn't that pop up? I'm confused there. Innings pitched, nobody really there. Walks allowed. Bull Garland led the way there. Whip. Bull Garland's in the mix at 4th, Padilla in 8th. Pitching WAR top 3, and then McClendon's not far back. Batting WAR, of course, Dip completely destroyed everyone at 11.5. And I actually want to take a look because he had 11.5 batting WAR and 4.3 pitching WAR, which adds together to be, I think that's how you do it, 11.5 plus 4.3 is 15.8 WAR on the year. So that's that, I guess. Quickly look at the National League. Pearl Castro was pretty solid. Menez is there. Billy Lopez, Bud Joyce. Diego Castro. Champ Bingham, of course, is in the mix. But Diego Castro was pretty solid. Pearl Castro. MVP type season there. RBI's Greg Graham. I mean, just looking through these, trying to see if there's really anybody that noteworthy. And it doesn't really look like it. Nobody that I really recognize off the rip. But yeah, that'll do it for this. For the most part, I am going to simulate a little bit. See, we in the season 118 and 44, a win percentage of 728, and won our division. We'll be playing the winner of the wild card playoff game. Regular season has come to an end. I would like to stop simulating. Here's a look at the bracket. We can probably, I'm hoping you can see everything. I am going to move my camera real quick to make sure you can. All right, so I'm on the bottom here. Let's take a look at the playoff bracket. We will play the winner of Tulsa and Huntsville, and then Round Rock will play the winner of Jacksonville and Tucson. On the other side, Madison, Wisconsin, or Lincoln will play Wichita. Wichita will play the winner of that, and then Portland will play the winner of Toledo and Stockton. So that's a playoff bracket there. Let's take a look at the awards. We had 6 people winning awards. I'm just going to skip over that, and I'm going to take a look. Let's see here. I'm going to go top left now. Right, American League MVP Dip Jumbo wins this award. Of course, Miguel Vaughn and Gabriel Foster were the runners-up. And then Cy Young, Gabriel Foster wins this one. Bull Garland and Padilla, the runners-up there. Batting title, of course, goes to Dip Jumbo, Boomer Bell, and Miguel Vaughn. Second and third in that one. Reliever of the year goes to Frank Perez from Tucson. 52 saves and 75 strikeouts, less than 1 ERA. Rookie of the year, Dip Jumbo, of course. Vaughn and Foster follow up, of course. Hank Aaron Award, Jumbo wins. Bell and Vaughn behind. Gold Glove as a pitcher, Dip Jumbo. Even though 79 putouts is a little bit off because he played some first base and some outfield. Catcher, Richard Smith, Frankie Chung, Nigel Carr, Jared Brady, Amos Campos, Pete Marte, Vaughn McCarty, and Javier Ross, Gold Glove. But now Silver Slugger. Now we're going to see a lot of Chattanooga Mountaineers. Dip Jumbo wins it for the DH. Catcher, Chuck, American League, first base, Silver Slugger. Boomer Bell, followed by James Crawford. Second base, Mike Harden. Trent Clarkson wins it for third base. Miguel Vaughn at short. Patton in left. Kendrick in center. And Burks in right. Postseason MVP, of course, nobody yet. World Series MVP, of course, nobody yet. On the National League side of the spectrum, we got Diego Gonzalez winning MVP, even though I might have given it to Pearl Castro. Cy Young, Dalton Martinez. Pearl Castro does win the batting title at 318. Reliever of the year, Orlando. Whatever, 52 saves, 1.32 ERA. Diego Gonzalez wins the Rookie of the Year. Pearl Castro wins the Hank Aaron Award. Gold Gloves, Mullen, Rasmussen, Gilbert, Nicholas, Mercer, Tate, Bird, Phelps, Wright, who cares? Silver Slugger, Blackman, Rogers, Woods, Castro, Menez, Eli Suarez, a.k.a. Ellie De La Cruz. Of course, that would be before he really went off in the regular season whenever you made Eli Suarez. But Champ Bingham in the outfield. Apparently he played a lot of... he's a right fielder. Okay. Greg Graham and Diego Gonzalez. And then, of course, nobody there. So that's pretty much it for this episode. Thanks, everybody. All right, so we got our playoff roster set. Miles Bledsoe's just going to be on there instead of Woody Augustine, which does suck. Which definitely does suck, but that's all right. Thanks, everybody, for watching this episode. I meant to move forward. We're going to be playing Huntsville in the next one. Thanks, everybody. See you guys, and goodbye.